thank you. All right, you're up.
All right, this is Mike Christensen, call to order United Methodist Men of Colonial Hills United Methodist Church, November 13th, 6:30 p.m., which is going to be changed to 6:27 p.m. And we're going to get going. Okay. First off, opening prayer and devotional. So comes from the daily devotionals from, where is it? I don't have it, but I have it written down because I didn't print, so I apologize. It is from an online source that I do not remember what it was. But it comes from John 1, verses 43 through 51, about Philip and Nathanael. The following day, Jesus wanted to go to Galilee, and he found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip, who was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter, Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." And Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no deceit." Nathanael said to him, "How do you know me?" Jesus answered and said to him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael answered to him, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God, you are the King of Israel." Jesus answered and said to him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? You will see greater things than these." And he said to him, "Most assuredly, I say to you, hereafter you shall see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man." And that is from the Revised King James Version, by the way. So may not be one that we're all familiar with, but it's what I had open on the computer. So anyway,
That was the first Bible I read through
good.
all the way.
So that's the reading, and the devotional is, in the bustling rhythms of our daily lives, it's easy to overlook the extraordinary ways Jesus seeks to engage with us. Just as Nathanael discovered in John 1, our most mundane moments can be a backdrop for divine encounters. Nathanael, skeptical at first about Jesus of Nazareth, soon found himself face to face with the reality of who Jesus was, the Son of God, the King of Israel. This revelation came not in a grand temple or in a sacred place, but beneath the ordinary shade of a fig tree. Nathanael's initial doubt, can anything good come out of Nazareth, mirrors our own preconceptions and bias. Yet his story is a beautiful reminder that God often works outside of our expectations, inviting us to discover him and the unexpected and everyday places of our lives. The invitation from Philip, "Come and see," is extended to us daily, urging us to look beyond our presuppositions and be open to encountering Jesus in new and surprising way. As you go about your day, remember that each moment holds the potential for a divine encounter, whether you're at work, at home, or in transit. Jesus is present and actively seeking relationship with you. Let Nathanael's transformation inspire you to seek Jesus with an open heart and mind, ready to be amazed by where and how he reveals himself to you. So I kind of thought this was just an appropriate thing to say and look into as I was reading this the other day, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's just a reminder. The cliche is, be happy with the simple things, see things, as Jesus would see them. But, truly we need to stop, relax, and see the simple beauty that Jesus and our Lord has created in the everyday things. As much as I hate traffic, you know, and coming over here this evening. By the way, I don't know which one of y'all texted me that said you were here, but thank you for, thank you for that. But, you know, as I looked at my phone, which I'm not supposed to while I'm driving, I caught a glimpse of one of the most beautiful sunsets ever. And it just reminded me that, you know what, every day, if you trust in the Lord, you're going to see evidence of him. You just have to open yourself up to it. And even in some of the most strangest places and strangest ways. So I just thought would share that with you guys. Anybody, any comments? Anyone? No? So the prayer of this is, Lord, help me to see you in every part of my day, even in the places I least expect. Open my eyes to your presence in the ordinary and the extraordinary moments of life. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Moving on. Financial report was brought up by Mr. Bob over here.
You want me to bring that back in?
If you want to,
I can see if I can share the screen and get that.
If you want to, that would be perfectly fine, but I can bounce back and forth here.
Let me see
According to Mr. Herrick's total, the total income for the Fall Festival, which was on October 19th, was $642.01.
Who gave the one?
I don't know.
That had all had to do with the those pennies that we got off the benefited from the service fees that we ended up getting.
Well, I don't know how that happened. I don't really want to dive into it that much, but I will say that Mr. Bob here has a more technical breakdown of how many tacos we sold, how many cups of coffee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I will say that that is an excellent report, and I appreciate Bob taking the time for it. Me, I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I just care about what we did and what we didn't do. And we basically had nearly $650, which I'll comment a little more about that. The overall financial report, as this is added into it, and this was as of the 25th of October, which was the last report Brandy has run, is that our operating budget is now at $2,370 and a few cents. The scholarship is at remains unchanged at 3,680. Now, just to give you an idea, and people wonder, our operating balance as of September was $1,070.01. I don't know why there was 1 cent there. However, in 2 months, we basically have doubled that. I'm not sure if I will say that I don't know, but I know that they put out a love offering for the family supper luncheon that we had with the photographs for the church. I don't know where that extra $700 has come from, because if you add the 642 plus the 1,000, it's 1,600 minus basically 125 of cost that was incurred. By my calculations, it should be about 1,400. So we're about 900 over what my projections should be. but, we're at a point where I think maybe we should transfer over, which we can talk about this in new business, but I think we should, well, we can talk about it now. I think we should transfer over enough money to make our scholarship account reach $4,000. So I would like to propose that we transfer from operating to scholarship fund to make the scholarship equal to 4,000 at this time.
What does that leave us with?
Well, it's gonna be basically
How much?
about $2,000, cause I mean, $2,000 in operating. Cause we're at 3680 in the scholarship account, so 320 to make it 4,000. And we have 2370, so basically about $2,050.
Let's do it.
So,
Yeah,
Second.
Pack. All in favor?
all right.
Aye.
All right.
One thing I noticed when doing this, there was a couple of occasions where people had told us they were charging on the card, but it never went through, so we did not get any money from them. It happened a couple times. So, anyway,
Oh. Well. I will get that taken care of sometime next week.
does anybody have any questions about this before I?
No, I
send
think
it
you did,
away?
I think that's a great job.
Well, it let us keep track of the number of these things that we sold, which will help us prepare next time. We got 20 of it, 30 of this, 50 of that. I don't know if it's worthwhile having coffee for serving 12 cups, but we certainly don't need to make a whole pot if we only sell 12 cups out of it.
Yeah.
We did pretty good with the waters. The lunch and breakfast deals, quite a few more of the lunch deals than the breakfast deals. So,
Well,
but anyway,
All that adds up.
and then we had some of the bulk sales at the end.
Sure.
That's the ones that are highlighted. They're in bold. They're the bulk sales.
That's so we didn't have to freeze anything left over.
And we had one phantom sale that ended up coming through on a card after I closed everything. We had a $20 sale that showed up. That from somewhere,
Don't know.
and with a 44 cents attached, and I have no idea who. There was a name attached to the person. I've got that somewhere, but we'd already closed out at 81 and put everything away, and we had another 20 show up. So
Hey, as I was told, don't complain.
yeah, that's it. All right, we're gonna start.
So from last meeting, and this is gonna be the bulk of, I know it looks like there's a lot of stuff here, but really we don't have a whole lot. From last meeting, basically gave a brief of the financial report, updated the minutes from September, continuing with youth breakfast, Habitat for Humanity updates, which was Mike and Larry talking through and going out with lunches and stuff. Youth open house for tonight, as well as moving the meeting to tonight from last week. Scholarship applications are being chosen online. A lot of things about the fall festival were discussed about who, when, what, as far as donating all sorts of seed money, picking up different things and timing and everything else that goes with all of that. Tabled the idea of the family holiday luncheon. Brief report over the family meal that we did, which was with the pictures. And we approved, I know it's in here. It's a matter of finding. We did approve to renew the charter.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Oh, there it is. Right there. Okay. And we approved to renew the charter, which has not been done yet, but I will do that. Is there anything I'm leaving out? Good. Okay. Anything that needs to be added in? Rearranged? So anyway. Okay. So continuing on with that, youth breakfast. We have one more month in the semester. Larry, you had signed up for it back
Yes.
in, I believe it was August or September. You're up this month. You need any advice, help, or we good?
Just remind me of what Sunday it was. I had,
December 8th. I will
Eighth.
send you a text the first
Okay.
week of December.
I couldn't remember.
Or an
if it
email
was the
or
first
something.
Or the eighth.
No,
Okay.
you're
And
good.
I talked to Isabel about it this evening.
You got it. Okay. Went okay last, or about a week ago.
Yeah, I had no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
They always, well,
They love donuts, don't
they had 1 dozen, I gave them another dozen.
There we go. I promise you, it ain't ever gonna go to waste. Anyway, so having said that, planning ahead into the spring semester, January, February, March, April, and May, we need to basically look at when we want to volunteer and do this again. I'm gonna go ahead, if y'all don't mind, unless somebody wants January. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's right, because they'll still be, that won't be until the second Sunday in January, because they're still gonna be on break from school. I'm talking to myself. Never
Okay.
mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign up for January unless anybody wants it. Does anybody want January? I can tell you the date if you want it. Okay. Does anybody want February, or do we want to think about it for a little bit?
That's a chili cook-off, isn't it?
Yes, but this is the Sunday school breakfast, which would be the first Sunday in February.
What day is the chili cook-off?
Well, we haven't decided yet, but it is gonna be in February.
I'll take February.
You got February? Okay. Anybody want March? Anybody want May or April? Or do we wanna, we don't have to sign them up for all now, so. The first Sunday in February, Alan, is February 2nd. So, we can come back to those later time. Charles, Larry, do we have anything from Habitat?
Well, this Saturday is the dedication.
Okay,
It's at 10 o'clock. There's gonna be.
this Saturday.
This Saturday, 16th. It'll be Melody Martinez and her 4 sons, the house that we helped build. And 22 other new homeowners.
Oh, wow.
Ceremony begins at 10 o'clock. And Pastor Jermaine is actually giving the opening prayer. And then also that same day is landscaping, which begins at 8 o'clock. Yeah. They stop for the ceremony and then continue landscaping after the ceremony. And there'll be information about the dedication that's in this week's church letter that comes out on Friday. And everybody's invited for the dedication.
Good.
So, and then that will basically finish up the activities for
So
build.
they're gonna be in their, all these families are gonna be in their homes 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
They will,
That's awesome.
their goal is to be in there by Christmas. They won't be in.
Oh, really?
No, generally not, no.
Hmm.
In terms of all the paperwork and,
Well, that's all right.
yeah,
Christmas is still a good place to be.
it is, it is,
Anyway,
At least we get them in before the holidays.
there you go.
yes.
And hopefully before the weather gets real bad.
Mhm.
So.
Actually, we
I don't
have
think
them-
it's gonna get bad this year.
Well.
It might get cold, but it ain't gonna get wet.
Anyway. Youth open house, the next date that we're doing is December the 11th. Which is, I don't know, 26 days from now or so. Dates for the spring semester are not available yet. So there will be 5 in the spring semester. Because there's 5 months in the school semester between January and May, but Isabella does not have the signups posted as of yet.
You said December 11th?
Yes, sir. December 11th. So, dates for the spring will more than likely be disseminated probably in January or so. Because maybe in December, just depends on when Isabella gets them up, and I'll speak with her about having lunch with her next week. Anyway, scholarship applications are digital at this point in time. But we're still working on formatting. Formatting because we're trying to make decisions on, in other words, they're digital in the fact that I can email them to anyone, but when they're filled out, we're working out logistics of where they should go. Should they come back to the church? Should they come back to Isabel's account with the church? Should they come back to me as the president? Because
Well, the church needs to approve them.
correct. Well, that's not, yes.
Okay.
They need, so they need to approve the person,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah,
application.
Yeah.
They need to approve the person so that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that puts one in basically gets a scholarship,
Yeah.
because if there's a security breach or whatever in the link, then it's not, the form is digital. We're still gonna write them a check. So, but I understand what you're saying.
They should go to Isabella then. To verify.
Well,
'Cause she's gonna have that.
I agree, but I think they should also, the deal is that we need to set these up to where they technically should go to 3 different entities. They should go to the church as the entity. They should go to Isabella, and then they should also go to us, because Isabella, the church needs to approve the person. Isabella is the second approval of the person. And then basically we're the rubber stamp after that.
Pending Isabella's
Correct.
approval.
But what I'm saying is, if all of the copies are sent to each one, that's great. But what happens when Isabella is not here anymore? What happens when I'm not the president anymore?
Mhm.
So we're looking at how do we figure that out? And it
Is that
either has to be it either has to be something that's easily interchangeable or, you know, somewhere in cyberspace for people.
If it goes to church administrator,
Mhm.
you can have understanding with them, they put a copy in the inbox. That way you'll have it.
Well, they should just be able to forward the email.
Well,
So
they could forward it to whoever is the current president, yes.
I don't know, the point being is they are digital. It's a matter of figuring out how they're gonna be returned. So
Work with Landon on that.
He's
He's the one that
Yeah.
had the smarts to
as,
do it.
I'm in that, I'm in that right now. Although right now he's about on page 82 of the digital directory, and there's still about 82 more pages to go. So, and he's working on it, but we're gonna get it done. I told him he got 2 months to finish that directory, then he's mine. So,
Do we have an idea of how many students that might be eligible for scholarship?
I believe Isabel said we had maybe 4 this year, 2 that she knew of, 2 that kind of come and go, which, you know, they probably not gonna. Now, next year, I think there is 4. You have, Josh, Barrios, Davenport, Schrader, Amanda Schrader, what's her name? Davenport, Megan Davenport, and I think there's 1 more, but I cannot. There might be 2 more. So, henceforth, moving money over to the scholarship fund. So, anyway, yes, sir.
Calendar question, if we're having the youth open house dinner on Wednesday, the December 11th, are we going to have our meeting immediately following that?
We're
Like we
gonna-
are tonight.
We're gonna get to that.
Oh,
We're
okay,
gonna get to that as we go down.
all right.
Anyway, so the scholarship applications are pretty much done. It's a matter of figuring out the format about what to do with them, but they have been converted to a digital format where, we won't, hopefully are not gonna have to be chasing kids down, or Isabel's not gonna have to be chasing kids down. And it pretty well, when they hit send, it pretty well instantly comes through. So anyway, we've already talked about the fall festival and stuff. Speaking of this, what you had up there, does anyone have comments about, I thought we did relatively well, and as I said prior to this, the majority of what we were going to do with this is coming from donated funds and stuff, or donated items. So we were going to make money no matter what. Does anybody have any comments for possible improvements of next year that we can handle on our end? I was not necessarily pleased with the size of the crowd, but that's,
Yeah, but
that
was
that
because
is-
when the other churches having the same.
I was gonna say that is beyond my control.
Yeah.
What I can control is whether or not the coffee is hot, the water is cold, you know, whether or not whatever the tacos or whatever tastes good or not. Okay. Having said that, is there, my wife's home. Is there any comments from the floor about maybe what we could improve on next year?
Well, we had 75 customers before we started selling the bulk.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm thinking a lot of those were
Vendors?
the vendors. Thank you. Um,
And volunteers,
but
Huh?
and volunteers too, the ones
Yeah.
that were selling
Mm-hmm.
from the church.
yeah. Um,
But not, I don't think we reached too many outside people.
Yeah. The majority of the, first of all, 2 years ago when I was approached by this, the question was, would you do this for the vendors that are there because they can't leave?
Mhm.
And I was like, sure.
Mhm.
And then it was, well, why don't we just like, make a little extra,
Mhm.
and anybody that comes by can have them.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how it morphed into this. The problem obviously is you never really know what your crowd size is going to be. The other thing is you also never really know whether they're going to have breakfast before they come, or whether they want to
Go somewhere to eat lunch.
or any of that kind of stuff as well. Because the idea of doing breakfast tacos pretty much came from last year when we did, or the previous year when we did pulled pork, and people were, well, I mean, we had that window open at like 9 in the morning, and we were still just getting things ready to serve the pulled pork sandwiches, and they were like, hey, are y'all doing breakfast tacos? And I mean, there was 10, 20 people that would come up and do that. And I'm like, no. So
Maybe,
but that didn't happen this year. So I don't know if it's because maybe they thought the precedent was set last year, or but same thing, you said there were 12 coffees that was sold.
Our
And
very first customer was for
Right.
coffee.
but last year there were, as soon as the door opened, when the door opened, there were 24 people that came by that said, are y'all serving coffee?
Yeah.
So I, I hit it wrong. I thought coffee would sell fast in the morning,
Mhm.
but
did we
anyway.
advertise in the church thing?
So I personally didn't do any advertising on it because the church had a committee formed for the fall festival, and I kept them abreast of what we were going to be doing, and asked that they, forward it on and everything else. And the simple reason is, unlike the chili cook-off, I knew we were gonna make money on this no matter what, because practically everything was donated, you know. So I just didn't feel like it was a big deal to advertise it.
With all the stuff that was going on outside, including them having some other food items, we didn't even have a sign up that said, come inside for your breakfast or lunch tacos and plates.
True. So maybe some signage.
If they're gonna have the festival outside, we sure need to let people know, either that or take some stuff out there and have a warmer out there and serve some stuff right there,
And the church.
which would not be that hard
Yeah,
to do.
and the church bulletin doesn't cost us anything.
No.
And we could take a warmer out and have the tacos and stuff right there, for people who don't want to come in.
Yeah, I don't.
And mom with a bunch of kids might not want to bring them inside, but might want to get some tacos for the bunch outside.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't know what was done as far as publicizing what we were doing, but I agree with you. All I can say is I like the idea of the outdoor signage because, but all I can say is it was my impression that as long as I kept the committee abreast,
Yeah.
the fall committee abreast of what was
Yeah.
going to be done, because I had asked them to make sure that it was publicized and advertised and everything that they did.
I bet you if we had
The issue is I never saw what was what they put out to advertise,
Mhm.
so I don't know.
If we had a serving thing outside, we're serving the carnita tacos for lunch between that 11 and 1:30 or 2, we would have sold a bunch out there.
Probably.
Do you have any health department issues by having outside, because our kitchen is authorized or sanctioned, right? By the health inspectors? I'm just raising a question, I have no idea.
Well, the other way to get around that is maybe we could walk outside and take orders,
Yes,
I mean, cause we had plenty of folks inside, I thought, in the
Mhm.
kitchen at all times where, I mean, we didn't all stay in there for the 6, 8, however long it was,
No, you're probably right. There are probably some rules we'd have to follow. And people out there shipping food are gonna have to have a hand wash and a couple other, things you have to follow. But still, that's not.
But I, like I said, I don't know why we couldn't take an order
Yeah,
sure.
and bring it,
yeah.
bring it to them. I
On the
mean,
radio.
Pass the word that
We got a
we're
little-
inside too.
yeah, either
Yeah.
one. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, that's all,
Okay.
yeah, I know. We need to get moving.
Right, where we are in the agenda, in the meeting agenda, where we are?
Not very, what do you need? New business or?
Okay, let's-
We're almost there. Okay. The quadrennial, like I said, is in process of being done, so we don't need to spend any time there. So this was tabled for last time, was the family holiday luncheon and supper. And it was kind of brought up. And the question is, do we really want to do this? Last year, guys, we said we were gonna do it, we voted to do it, then we kept postponing and kept postponing and kept postponing until like April, Honestly, I think we just nix it, but if y'all wanna do it, that's fine, but I don't wanna coordinate it. I will serve as the communication person if you tell me I need to talk to people, but I don't want to coordinate it.
Who's gonna do it? We don't.
Don't know.
Maybe the ladies quilting group.
Well, the way that we did it was basically just had
My wife's in there and she won't do it.
Can she
It-
cook
it
better?
basically
Well,
was
she
just
might
a-
cook better than we can.
it was basically just one of those, show up to this restaurant at this point in time and we're all gonna have a meal together,
Oh,
and like we did last.
yeah, that was cool.
But my deal is like I said, it kept running into problems and I see it doing nothing but running into problems now. So if we still want to do it, that's fine. I don't want to coordinate it. So if anybody wants to do it, speak now.
It sounds like something we shouldn't be coordinating anyway. That should be done by the church. I mean, it's not something that we should be
Well,
responsible for.
is this a meal just for us or for large group? What are we talking about? I'm kind of at a disadvantage, not understanding.
It's basically for us, but we invited all of the staff
Okay,
and paid for the staff's meal and their families. But at the same time, as I said, we said we were gonna, the first week in November last year, we said we would do this, and I thought it would be a great thing. And then it kept getting postponed and postponed some more because of different other things. So as I said, if we want to, as a group, say that we are sponsoring that, and I mean, we'll have $2,000. We can have all the staff pay for their meal, their families. just like we did last year. I'm telling you, I don't want to coordinate it. So,
Just let it go.
yep.
Let it go.
Dump it. Somebody will do it.
Do you want to do it?
You probably weren't here, but
Is that thinking or is that a slow shaking no?
you probably weren't here, Mike,
Faster
but
shake than no.
a few years ago, Cynthia Duval organized a few of these. And they turned out pretty good. It's been, what, 10 years? I don't know. But for some reason, it's never been done again.
Mm.
It was fun.
All right, new business. So it came to my attention that on the church website that we have a deal that says our stated meeting is on the second Saturdays of every month. I don't know how long it's been there. I didn't know it has been there. If this has been cause for confusion with everybody or anybody, I sincerely apologize. That has been taken care of now. What has happened now on the website is that it now links to the church calendar that tells you the specific date and time. So, also moving forward, after this, probably like a week, within a calendar week of when we have our meetings, what I will do is send an email out that says this is when our next meetings are, just so that people will be able to plan ahead. And that comes with something else that's later down with potentially rotating between Wednesdays and Saturdays. Okay. Breakfast with Santa. The past 2 years, Mr. Jason has asked us, he has not asked yet, but I sincerely believe that he will ask us to cook breakfast this year. I'm going to ask you guys, if he asks, may I accept without having to put forth and communicate via email?
Do you know the date yet?
I haven't been asked yet, so I would assume it's going to be the Saturday or Sunday prior to Christmas. But,
Well, go ahead, I won't be around.
well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, usually guys, if I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've said it before. If I have a church staff member that asks me a question for the United Methodist Men, the answer is always yes. Unless I physically know that I cannot or will not be there, then I won't say yes. I will bring it to y'all's attention to see if someone will be there. So I will say yes.
Definite maybe.
Definitely, maybe. I like that.
Definitely maybe. Okay. All right. December meeting. Okay. First thing is this. Guys, we have done everything in the fall that we need to that we have had planned, with the exception of the breakfast with Santa, which there's no guarantee, but I have a feeling Jason will ask us for that. So,
How many were there last year? Do you know at the breakfast with Santa?
bunch of little kids.
I mean,
No,
100, 50?
Well, I'm in the kitchen. I don't have a clue. My wife said you need to, when we're doing that family meal and stuff, she said, you need to stick your head out here and look at this. And I went, I don't have time. So she said, you would not believe how many people are here. Anyway, my point with this is, do we really need to have a meeting in December?
It's the busiest time of the
You
year.
just send out an email.
I mean, I personally just think that the only thing that we have to do is breakfast with Santa, only if Mr. Jason asks us to. So I really don't think there's anything that we need to discuss, because the spring activities that we have is the chili cook-off, which is going to be in February, closer to the end of the month in February. Scholarship deadline, the Easter brunch, elections, Mother's Day brunch, and the June breakfast social, which it sounds like a whole lot of stuff, but to be honest with you, it's really not. And the majority of this is gonna be planned out in January as we go. So do we need to meet in January?
Yeah,
No? Okay. Excuse me, December? December.
January, yeah.
You said
December.
We do need to meet in January.
Yeah,
December.
chili cook-off is when, February?
We haven't set a date with it yet, but it'll be closer to the end of the month.
But
Okay?
it's in February.
Yeah, we'll do it in February,
So,
because January is always nasty weather and everything else. Our first part of February is as well, and usually the end of February is still cold that we can eat. So, anyway. So we will not have a meeting in December.
unless something changes,
Uh,
and we could always do it right after the youth. thing like
Correct.
We're doing tonight if we need to.
correct.
Okay.
No planned meeting in December.
All right.
Um,
So that's deleted.
Yes, sir. No planned meeting in December. The caveat is if something comes to our attention, we will always have a called meeting, okay? So that means that, well, we'll do that in a minute. Charles, I apologize for taking so long. So any new business from the floor? Charles, you have the floor because you said that you.
Thank you. I just, want to go ahead and bring this to a point, as, volunteering and bringing the hand to feed the Lord at Habitat, since, September the 14th. Did not miss one day of construction. I was there the whole time to make sure that the Martinez family knew that Colonial Hills United Methodist had their back every step of the bill. The thing is that I was the only one to be out there on the bill site that whole time from our church. Now, the thing is, I propose that we take part of the scholarship information or requirement and add the line for volunteerism from the youth that are receiving these monies from us. So we can at least get some more people to be also the hands and feet of the Lord from Colonial Hills. Because God forbid I drop off the face of the earth and then there's no representative from our church anywhere. And we fall by the wayside like the other organizations, signature organizations, and other churches that did not show up, but they gave money and prayers to that family, but no faces, no hands, no feet. And again, that's just something that I wanted to go ahead and bring in as just a requirement. Again, we may have to pass through the executive level of the UMM, going over to Isabel for her to say yes, and also the administration of the church, if that happens to be, just to go through the right channels to add that line.
Sounds good.
So are you suggesting that volunteerism be a requirement or just something of a line of consideration?
Requirement, being into
So-
the,
I was gonna say, to summarize, and maybe this will clarify it for everyone. You are proposing to make the scholarship a requirement to receiving the scholarship to volunteer at Habitat for, not only at, but must at least volunteer at Habitat for Humanity.
exactly, or
Okay.
any of the other ones, but Habitat being in there, so we can have really, if you're getting, let's say, you're getting a scholarship money from us, what are we getting back from you? Instead of one body in the pew.
Okay,
So-
so they could be volunteering at food bank
Yes,
distribution. They could be volunteering
something that happens to be with the church.
at
In
one of
the
the one of the
facility.
kitchens at
In the
someplace.
as long as it's tied in back into the church.
Okay, so the question I'm saying is, do you want to specifically list those? So for example, Habitat for Humanity, food bank, or what about the well, they can't really, the reason I say that is this. The Monday food distributions
School day.
is a school day.
Yeah.
So I think it would be better. I agree with your idea. First of all, I'm gonna say this out loud. I agree with it. I think what we need to do, or you need to do, is specifically mention which ministries we're talking about so that so that so that we can say, okay, you did Habitat for Humanity because it's on weekends, okay? Or you did the food bank because it's the first Saturday, Alan?
Yeah,
I know
food bank
you and
is
your
third
wife-
Monday.
Third? No. What's the one you go to?
Oh, that's inner city.
Inner city.
What if we just,
The reason I say that is so can they actually do these due to their age? We know Habitat, they have to be a certain age.
Right, 16,
Mm-hmm.
16 or 14?
14 if it's on landscape?
yeah, they can do that, but the thing is, a lot of these kids, you know, they're smart kids.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them are of the age of 16, they're already 17, 18 years old, so they can get on the bill site.
I agree.
So the thing is that Habitat is only on Saturdays, their bills are only
No,
on
I,
Saturdays.
I agree.
So when she go out there, they can check that box out. Next one they can do is inner city development and check that box off.
But
And
is there an age requirement that you're aware of?
Inner city, no.
Okay.
Could we just say at any of the outreach ministry the church participates in?
I don't think you wanna spread it out that much. And, the first thing, we're the ones who's sponsoring the scholarships.
So we can set whatever requirement
Whatever the
we
hell
want.
you want.
No, well, that's not the point. What I'm saying, we should, if,
It's gonna get too complicated if we don't,
And we-
he's got a good idea, that's a good idea.
if,
But
I would put just Habitat if I were going.
So let me say this, okay? Can I say that we all agree in principle to what you're putting up here and proposing, with the agreement that the scholarships this year, we cannot require that for the scholarships this year?
no,
Okay.
If it's already in stone, then
Because-
go ahead and push it through.
Correct. But can we come back to it and refine this more in January?
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Well, the reason I say that is because if we sit and talk, well, what about any of the outreach ministries, or what about inner city, or what about food bank of it? We can sit here for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But the simple fact of the matter is, and I don't mean this, and I don't mean to speak for you, but truth of the matter is you want people out of Habitat, don't you?
yeah, definitely. And
So-
the thing is, again, this is one of our legacy outreach ministries since 1991.
So,
And the thing is that it was just me, you know, out there. And the thing about this is that the homeowner herself said that she was so grateful for me being out there representing and always talking, you know, hey, this is a family. I
Right.
never looked down at her, never. She's
Yeah.
smart, intelligent. Her boys are fantastic kids and everything like that, the ones I met.
Mhm.
And she got two others.
The ones
there
you met.
That's the little ones we're gonna see Saturday. But the thing is, she saw that I extended the hand of friendship, fellowship to her.
uh-huh,
And what she did in return, she came to our services twice. She came in with her family twice, 2 times.
mhm.
And then she sent 2 groups of people, 12 people, to the second service. And it filled up a pew.
Mhm.
And I mean, and she says, we're gonna put you on rotation at our job. So the thing is that I always want, you know, to let the people that we have, you know, that we're building house for, always knowing that Colonial Hills is always with them. You know, if they're doing volunteer hours, hey, great. Coming through, you know how it works out there. But that's the concept.
Yeah.
That's the concept. So
I think it's a great concept. And we could also add a volunteer for cleanup at the church grounds. There's all kinds of things that the church needs.
Right.
With
Well-
your wife, Mary Jane, she's coordinated volunteer all the time. People can, sign up and volunteer with her and get points that way.
Yeah.
She has, stuff all the time that she needs volunteers
Well,
for.
what I'm gonna say is that we need to look at this, and this is why I say come back with this in
Mhm.
January, because these are some things that have just come to my mind
Mhm.
while you're talking about this, is to say, uh, the exact programs that you must have at least some hours from these
Yeah.
programs,
Mhm.
but you can have hours from doing just about other things. The other thing is what is the minimum number of hours that we need in total, plus minimum number of hours from
Mhm.
each exact program.
Mhm.
So in other words, if we want 200 hours total,
Mhm.
but 20 have to be from Habitat.
Exactly.
You see what I'm getting
Yeah,
at?
yeah. And we can talk about that in January.
Right, and the other thing is whether or not they can be over several years or that kind of stuff. Because the first year that we have to do this, we have to make it obtainable for the incoming seniors of next year.
Mhm.
So that's why I say, I totally agree with everything that this represents that you bring up. I don't think we have the time to talk about it right now.
No.
So can we table it and
Yeah,
come
table.
back
Table.
in January?
Yeah, for the table for the feasibility in January.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can approve it in February or March or whatever, and it'll be in plenty of time for next year.
Got it.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, so that being said, anything else from the floor?
I want to say something, just so you guys will know. Give me a couple minutes. My wife and I went to get our pictures made Sunday, and I talked to Landon, and he gave me the deal to sign up for it. So I go home and I start signing up, and you get down to the point that says enter a credit card to verify, your application. So at the same time, I just smelt a little fish. And so, I didn't like this, so I put in my gasoline credit. They tried to bill it for something, what I don't know, but come to find out, they want a Visa card. I'm not gonna pay every time you look at the directory. This is a way, and if you gotta click that you understand all the rules and regulations, it's about 20 pages.
Mhm.
They've got you by the cojones if you give these people a credit card. I recommend you do not.
To look at the directory?
I don't know what it's for, but they tried to bill it. Anyway, I haven't talked to Landon, but I don't know if this is a money-making deal for the church or what.
No.
I doubt it, but you need to talk to Landon about
I
it.
wouldn't put my credit card in there if I were you. You don't know what they're billing you for. I think it's illegal.
Now, this is the new pictorial.
Yes,
direct-
yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You sure you're on the right site, not
I
a
am.
downside?
Yes, sir, I am.
That's you for that.
I'll ask him about that personally
Okay,
when
I
I
appreciate it.
talk to him.
Would you put your credit card in there?
No, because I'll be honest with you, all I do is type in chumc.org and it asks me for the password, and once I do the password,
Well, another thing,
everything comes up for me.
evidently, they only want a Visa card. They don't want anything else. Like
Which-
you got American Express or anything. I knew I could, there's
Yeah.
something fishy here. And I put in my gasoline card, just see, it said to verify your application.
They still
That's
make
all you need.
those?
I'm sorry?
They still make gasoline cards?
I've got two,
Okay.
Exxon and Chevron.
Mm. Cause they try to charge
Sorry.
it.
I
So-
do mine, I got an
Something
online
wrong
one.
there.
I just was like,
But anyway, you don't.
first
wanna-
credit card I had
You
was
don't
down
wanna,
at
you don't
Shamrock.
wanna give out your credit card to somebody you don't know who you're giving it to or what they're gonna charge you for. And I've got a feeling, now it says that if your card expires, they can rebuild you. And I mean, if you got the time and you wanna know, you can read those 17 pages. Fine print. I mean, it's very detailed, very legal, and I wouldn't do it, but that's my advice to you. Anyway,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, I'll ask Landon. I don't.
So you were on the church website.
The one that comes in the little brochure he gave us. You
I'll-
got a brochure when you got your picture made.
I didn't.
No,
Well, Landon gave it to me, so
Anyway.
it's official.
All right,
I got my
so,
picture made, there was none of
Have
that.
you signed up for the directory?
To buy the directory?
No,
Hey,
not
yeah.
online.
hey, y'all talk about that later. Let's
Yeah.
figure out when we're meeting again here.
Okay.
So if we're not meeting in January, we're gonna meet on January the 11th, which is a Saturday. At 8:30. With tacos.
Sounds good.
Again,
And bring your own
again,
coffee.
January. 11th?
January 11th.
Bring your own coffee.
Bring your own and I'll try to get that monster rolling.
8:30,
Yes, sir.
very good, thank you.
All right. Everybody ready to leave?
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Somebody make a motion.
So move.
So move.
All right.
Moving out here.
We need no second. Let's get out.
Amen. So mote it be.
I have no idea what that deal is, Jim. I will definitely look
Well,
at it.
I'm glad you
No,
mentioned
because
that.
that
We
is.
I don't even remember getting that brochure.
Well, Landon or somebody at the church has signed up with this company, evidently to figure out ways to get money out of you. And they can bill you for anything. You don't know what they're gonna bill. And they didn't even tell you, they tried to bill my credit card on my gasoline card. It was rejected, of course, but they tried to bill something. Why?
I don't
They
know.
said to verify your
Take care,
application.
Larry.
We're trying to fill it out.